Welcome to Kletus Ray's Roadside Service. What are we doing today? We are in Des Moines, Iowa. We're going to be picking up some totes here. Old Hunter, he had to go back to the veterinarian. Uh, the doctor, that was kind of like a checkup. He was hoping to get an abortion for the dogs that day. It didn't work out for him. They said we need more of a late term abortion for your dogs. So he took off today. He's going up there. I think they just got a load of coat hangers or whatever. I don't know what those are used for, but that's what he was telling me. He said that the load of coat hangers that showed up to the abortion clinic, he has got to go up there, take his dog, all that shit. So I know people have been worrying about it. I've been getting messages like crazy about it. Some people were asking me, hey, can you ask him to not get an abortion? I'd like a puppy. And I asked him, and he said no. He's not a good guy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know how far I should push it. I know you guys know I'm joking, but I don't know. But anyways, he's off again today. So I am creating a new story for the reason he is off of work today, and I'm trying to, I'm about to meet up with the first person that's going to ask, hey, where is he at? He's at the abortion clinic again. Or maybe I should say, he actually decided to have the puppies. He's going to adopt them out. He's going to adopt out the puppies. He's going to keep one, but he's going to adopt out a bunch of puppies. Maybe he'll do that. From abortion to adoption, he's making big steps. Anyways, yeah, I've had an all right day so far. I was able to stop at Casey's and grab me a coffee and some pizza. That's always a good time. And then yesterday was a good one. We had to go out to Wamego, Kansas. There's a plant out there where we pick up some waste from, and they had a bunch of barrels. Not too many actually. We took the small box truck, and they had a few barrels they needed taken out. Some of them were hazardous, some of them weren't. So we had to go to the landfill. I'll tell you what, one of those barrels. Well, at the landfill, we had two super sacks, which are like big 4x4, like just like bags that you can fill up with waste or whatever. They're called super sacks. Look them up if you're real curious. If not, just take my word for it. And then they had one barrel, and that barrel, because they have a big scale at the place, and they weigh every single barrel that they need us to take, or every piece of waste they have us weigh it. And 640 pounds in one 55-gallon drum. They loaded it with a forklift, which is wonderful. To offload that motherfucker was a pain in the fucking ass, let me tell you. A 640-pound barrel. So I had my barrel dolly, and I hooked it up to it. I barely made that thing come up off the ground. And I'm a heavy dude. And these barrel dollies are designed to be able to lift up heavy barrels. If there was anybody there that was lighter than me, that barrel would still be on the fucking truck. Because there's no way they would have got that fucking thing off. Because I put all my weight on this barrel dolly, and I swung back, and I was still just barely able to balance the fucking thing and get it to the edge of the truck so I could dump it off at the landfill. And I wanted to sit around and wait and see. I don't know. I know those guys in those big ass machines, they don't really notice much, they run over everything. Their machines weigh a fuckload. But I thought maybe he would hit that and say, holy shit, that's fucking heavy. But I don't know. He probably didn't even notice. Honestly, he probably didn't even notice. But anyways, because it was full of dust, full of like grinding and welding dust or whatever, and uh, sandblast, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, they filled that thing to the fucking top with dust and sand and shit, and it weighed 640 fucking pounds. It's insane how much that thing fucking weighed. And I just imagine he hits it like it's a chunk of steel, just like a barrel-sized chunk of steel, But anyways, and then the super shacks. Luckily, those weren't too heavy, and we were able to just kind of drag them off the back. Then we had to go to a hazmat place and dump off all the hazmat material, and they made us wait for a long time. But I'm saying we because I had to train a guy, good guy, helpful guy, and yeah, so I wasn't able to record, but then we went back to the shop, and I got the fuck out of there. I drove the truck, which I still am not happy that I drove the truck. I wish yesterday I rode the bike, because I got a new hour meter. I got a pack of hour meters. I got one for my son's four-wheeler, and I got another one for my bike, just to kind of keep better track of oil changes and whatnot. And I thought that I got, because I've heard of them, and I guess, I don't know, I thought I looked up the right ones, but some of those hour meters, they go off of vibration. So there's no battery, well, there's a battery that's sealed in the thing, but it'll last forever, and it just goes off of vibration. It's kind of like a pedometer, a thing that you wear, and it measures your steps. But instead, this is measuring engine runtime. And that's what I thought I got, and I screwed one on my airbox on my bike. I screwed it to my airbox, and I said, cool. It came with some wire, but I didn't know where the fucking wire went. There was nowhere for it to go. I was like, where the fuck is this wire supposed to go? There was a little slot, but it didn't look like, and the things came with no fucking instructions. That was another weird thing about it. It came and they were just kind of loose in a fucking box. So I was like, this is odd. But anyways, put it on there, rode to work, rode back home, and then I took my side panel off to see the hour meter, and it was reading 0. I was like, well, obviously these aren't vibration fucking hour meters. So I got on the Amazon website and I looked up what I bought, and actually they're supposed to come in a fucking little hanging case or whatever, and they were not in the hanging case. So, but on the back of the hanging case, it tells you how to install it. And I was like, oh, well, fuck, dude. Maybe I should have looked at that before I even tried to install it. But I thought they would just work, because they say 0.0 on there, and there's a little hourglass next to it. And I was like, cool, it'll work. No. But I went ahead and I moved it, and now I didn't screw it to the airbox this time. I just threw it on top of the airbox. Because there's like a little mesh thing on top of the airbox where nothing's going to fall out or whatever. So I just threw it on top of the airbox. That little slot on the back of the hour meter is where you're supposed to push the wire in. You got to run the wire to the fucking spark plugs or whatever. And so anyways, I ran it to the spark plug and we're good. So I don't know if it works. I haven't tested it yet. But I hooked it up, and then I went to my son's four-wheeler, and I had to take a couple of things apart and get to it, but I got to it, and I put it on his four-wheeler, so now, and then I tied it up. There's not really a good spot to mount the thing, and I don't want to drill any holes on the four-wheeler quite yet. So I just kind of mounted it under his seat. His seat's got a quick release, so if y'all want to know the hours of it, I just pull the seat off, and it's right there. And, yeah, and then I saw another little message board about, like, how to take care of that engine or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know how many, You can leave it in the comments if you're good with like small engines and shit. How many hours? I mean, I could Google this too. Why am I even asking you guys? Why? I don't know, because I want to, and I want to see what you guys say. Maybe you have a better opinion than ChatGPT. Okay. How many hours should you run a 40cc four-stroke engine on an oil change? There is zero oil filtration. What else was there? There is an oil drain, so I can drain the oil, but there's no oil filtration. There's no oil filter or anything like that, which I guess on lawnmowers there isn't either. So that's why you're supposed to change the oil quite often. I think I've changed the oil in a lawnmower one fucking time, and I've never had a lawnmower lock up on me. So I don't know, or go bad on me. I've had a lot of lawnmowers, but they've all ran when I got rid of them, which is weird, or I never got them to run and got rid of them. So anyways, I don't know. What do you guys think? How many hours should I run it? Because the thing, if I had to guess how many hours that thing has ran, honestly, probably about 3 hours worth of actual run time. But I have no idea. It could be a little bit more than that. Shit, it could be less than that. But I'm going to go ahead and mark it at 3. And then I'll probably go ahead and do an oil change. Next time I mess with it, I'll just do an oil change, and then I can start, the oil change from 0, just to keep it even, keep it consistent. But yeah, anyways, that's what I got going on with that. I went ahead and I cut a hole in the starting or the pull cord or whatever, and I emailed the place, the FRP website. I emailed them, and they're gonna send me in 3 days. They said they'll send me a new pull start, which is cool, because I would like to have a pull start. But if my method works, I think I might just leave it alone, and then I'll have the pull start available if I ever decide to go back to a pull start system or whatever. But so the original pull starter that's all fucked up, I unbolted everything. I took all the guts and shit, the big fucking wounded up fucking metal fucking ribbon or whatever the fuck. That's all fucking fucked up and everything now. Anyways, I took the whole pull start apart, and then I used a drill and I cut a fucking hole right in the center of it. So now my drill with a long socket, fits perfectly inside there, and I can fire that motherfucker up. Easy peasy. And I really like it. But the problem I've had, so the pull starter is kind of a thick deal, and there used to be a winder inside there. All that shit's gone now. So now there's a big gap. Whenever I put the drill in there and it fires up the four-wheeler, the engine is spinning faster than the drill can spin. Even though it's only for a couple of seconds, it spins faster than the drill can spin. Or not even a few seconds, a few milliseconds is what it would be. And because you can't even really hear the thing fire up. You just notice it fires up is what it is. But the engine spinning faster than the drill, and the drill being connected to that little flywheel deal, it unscrews that fucking flywheel deal. Luckily, I have a little magnetic poker, and I can get in there with the magnetic poker, pick up that bolt, and put it back on. I can kind of halfway screw it back onto the shaft, and then I put my drill in there, and I put it on low speed, so it's not going to fire up the quad, and then I can screw it on there. And I put some blue lock. I put a lot of fucking blue Loctite in there and on that thing, and because I don't want that thing to unscrew again, and I don't know if blue Loctite is going to be heavy duty enough, but I'm going to try it out. Oh, hello! We're back. Right as I hit record, somebody called me. We are rolling in here. My fucking button on my jeans ripped off. That's never happened to me. And I've been alive for, what year is it? 35 years, and probably 5 of those years I probably had like little buttons, little clippies, I don't know. But since I've been wearing zip up jeans with the button, the standard jeans, I've had zippers get stuck. I have zipped up, on some of those days where you don't wear underwear, which almost never happens. But if there was a time, I know there is a time that I wore no underwear and some jeans, I zipped up my fucking pubes in that motherfucker. Okay? And it does not feel good. You're like, oh, I'll just unzip it. It still hurts. Unzip it. So, anyways, but no, I've never had the fucking top button rip off. I'm like, is that saying something? Should I listen to my jeans and maybe try to figure out what would be ripping the button off of my jeans? I'm thinking I just had a bad pair of jeans because it's never happened to any jeans I've ever had before, and all my other jeans are perfectly fine. And you know what? I'll tell you what. If I rip another one off, I'll start thinking about changing my lifestyle. But currently, I think I'm just going to say these jeans were defective. But they're Carhartt jeans. They're nice. I like them a lot. Now, I even got in not an argument, but a disagreement or just an awkward situation with our guy that brings our work clothes into the shop or whatever. Because he showed up and I was like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm putting up the new jeans and stuff." I said, "Oh, hey, actually, I have a question that's just for you. It's perfectly for you. Nobody else in this world can answer it for me. Hey, whenever I have a pair of defective jeans, they either got ripped or messed up in some sort of way, and I give them to you guys, and I put on there repair, y'all don't really repair them. Y'all just give me a different pair of jeans that I don't like. I really don't enjoy the replacement jeans y'all give me. Every other pair of jeans are these nice Carhartts, and the ones that you give me are some pieces of fucking shit." Apparently, he took some offense to that because he was not super excited to have that conversation with me about my jeans. I said, "Hey, man, listen, you're in the jeans department. You have to, who else am I supposed to ask?" But he said he would look into it. I don't know. I feel like there's some people that say, "Hey, I'll look into it," and they actually don't look into it. You ever had a situation like that where somebody's like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I will actually help you solve your problem," and then they don't do anything about it. It's just business as usual. So I'm hoping that's not the situation because he did not seem too thrilled to have some fat fuck over there talking about ripping the crotch out of my jeans and getting the wrong jeans. Listen, bud, if you could just do your magic, you work for the company. I'm not going to go to your work and tell them. I feel like you are the guy to talk to. You're the man. And honestly, if I was in a situation where I'm delivering some jeans and somebody's like, "Man, I keep getting these crappy jeans. Every time I need new jeans or like there's a little tear or something, you guys just throw them away and give me some shit fucking jeans." I'd say, "Oh, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, now that you've said something, I'll bring it up." And I honestly would. I would probably pull out my phone and text the ladies. I don't know, maybe they're men that are doing that swaparoo, and text them and say, "Hey, this guy with this order number, can we get him some regular old Carhartt jeans? Can you dig a little deeper in the pile? I know you're trying to reuse some of the jeans. What are you going to do with all the jeans that nobody likes? But this guy specifically asked me to dig a little deeper and grab a new pair off the bottom in his size. Can we do that for him? Can we do that for him? I don't have a lot of faith in this fucko that's in charge of my jeans, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I could be totally wrong about this guy. He could. I might show up Monday. Well, no, it'd be Tuesday. Tuesday next week, I might show up and have beautiful, brand new Carhartt jeans, or at least whenever I say repair them, just repair them. Hold on to them until they're repaired, because you're like, oh yeah, we'll fix these, and they throw them in a pile for repair, and then they grab a new pair, or not new, but the fucking shit pair, throw them in there, and they said, give them these. They're gonna repair them, but not for me, you know. So, anyways, I'm kind of waiting on to figure that out. It's not a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. I don't have jeans of my own anymore, and I think that's a sad thing to have. Is not don't have your own jeans. I'm relying on my company to provide me with most of my clothing. And I mean, for 4.5 years, it's gone pretty well. But nope. Back to today, we have arrived here on site. Sitting here waiting. There's a guy in my dock door. I gotta wait for him to get fully loaded, and then get out of the way, and then I'm gonna pull in there and get me loaded. Hell yeah, brother. And it was storming last night, only for a brief time, but apparently we're in the enhanced risk. I mean, the whole this whole area from where I'm at in Des Moines, Iowa, all the way down to like Tulsa, Oklahoma, is under like severe risk for tonight. But I'll tell you what, it looks a little windy outside. But I'm driving a 53-foot dry van completely empty, and I had no problems. I didn't feel like I was getting blown around or anything. I guess we do have like a southern wind, so I was driving directly into the wind the whole way here, but I really didn't notice it, you know. And if I get off of work and it rained on me this morning, but I'm telling you, yesterday I was upset I didn't ride the fucking bike, you know. Pretty upset I didn't ride the bike yesterday. Uh-oh, am I gonna be in the way of this guy? Hey, buddy. Hopefully I'm not in your way. He can get that thing turned around, probably. Oh yeah, he's got it. Old Hunter yesterday. I don't want to call him out on his accidents or whatever, but yesterday I went to the landfill and I saw that he was still there. Whenever we were dumping off them barrels, or that barrel and those two super sacks, and I was gonna stop by and say hello to him if he was still there, but whenever I drove by the area, the solidification pit, he was gone. And I was like, oh, he's gone already. Because he was doing this run yesterday. This is the run he normally does. And I'm like, well, all right, he's left. Must have, he's booking it today. He's doing all right. So I'm just gonna leave and I'll see him later. And I come down the hill, and he's sitting there at the exit, not doing anything. And I see behind his trailer, this is the exit to the landfill. See behind his trailer, there's a fucking power cord for a truck and trailer. It looks suspiciously like the one that was on his truck. Green cable, you know, with the ends on it. And so I pull up behind him, and I'm in the little box truck with another coworker. I say, "Hey, that's our coworker right there. That's old Hunter." So I get out of the truck and I grab the power cord and I walk up. And as I'm walking up, he's hopping out and he's like, "Kletus, what are you doing here?" I'm like, "I don't know. What is this doing on the ground back there?" He's like, "Oh, buddy." I'm like, "What happened, dude?" He's like, "I take that corner every day. Never have a problem. And then for some reason, I took that corner today and I got my fucking power cable and my airline's all caught up. And I think what happened was he went around that corner because it's a sharp corner, and his power cord came unplugged from the trailer. When it fell down, it fell on top of his tires and got sucked underneath his tires. And then the thing that holds the cables and everything, the airlines and the power cable, got sucked down, and it sucked his airlines down there too, and he ran over everything. He fucked everything up. So his truck was the rear. Whenever you have a semi trailer and the airlines supply air to the trailer, if you cut off that airline supply, it locks up the brakes. So the air, how air brakes work, is whenever you hit the brakes in a semi, that is letting air out of the brake chambers. And when it lets air out, because the air is holding the brakes open, is what. And this is Brantley Gilbert, just to kind of bring it over there. Brantley Gilbert has a song. I'm an 18-wheeler with a brake line cut rolling through your town. And that single line from his song makes me not like any of his music. Because if you have an 18-wheeler, which is a semi, and you have a cut brake line, you're not rolling through town with no brakes. You are stopped before you get to the town with all the brakes. So his song doesn't make sense. If you're talking about a pickup truck, something that uses hydraulic brakes, that would make more sense. I understand how that is, but I can't think of any truck driver or anybody with any knowledge about how. Because I mean, I bet you there's some truck drivers out there that really don't know how any of this shit works. And if they don't know how any of this shit works, that means they'll probably break down quite a bit, and then they gotta get explained by the mechanics and everybody how things work. So even the dumbest truck drivers know that when you lose air, your brakes lock up. And that's the way it is. Okay? So Brantley Gilbert, I will never forgive you unless you go through and you redo that song. Because it is a good song. But every time I hear that, I'm like, I actually don't like this guy. He's got his information wrong. An 18-wheeler with his brake line cut is not rolling through town. It's not rolling through town, bud. It is stopped. And it is not going anywhere. Whenever you're driving on the highway and you see all those like dually tire marks all over the road, whenever you get on the highway next time, you'll notice it now. You're driving down the highway and you see just like tire tracks that go off onto the shoulder or whatever. That is somebody that lost a brake line. They're not going through town. They're pulling over on the shoulder is what they're doing, because there's nothing else they can do. Their trailer, it's usually their trailer. I mean, there's no reason it can't be their tractor, but honestly, it's usually the trailer, because the trailer has those lines that go from the truck to the trailer, and that's a really high likelihood of what happened. Is one of those airlines came undone, and if the blue line comes on, well, I don't know. You have a red line and a blue line. Technically, you only need the red line. The red line is the one that supplies the air to keep the brakes open, and the blue line is the one that lets you use your brakes or whatever. So, like these hostlers that move around trucks and trailers all day, all they have to do is hook up the red one because they're not going fast enough to even need to use the trailer brakes, really. But anyways, there's a little bit of a knowledge for you. Why was I talking about that? Oh, Hunter fucking yanked his fucking airline. His airlines actually looked okay, but I guess they were leaking. I don't know. I didn't stick around for very long. I was gonna follow him back to the shop. I was like, oh, just hook up your airlines and your power cord's all fucked, but I'll just follow you to the shop because his tractor still has headlights and blinkers and everything. But if his power cord to his trailer is ripped out, he has no blinkers or anything. So I will follow him since we were both there at the same time. I was going to follow him back to the shop. So, but instead, we had a guy from the shop bring a tractor to him that had good airlines and good power cord. And then the mechanic took the truck with the fucked up airlines back. But the yellow and red knob inside the tractor controls those airlines. And so if you just have them, if you're not hooked up to a trailer, you don't have to fuck with you don't have to fuck with the red one. You just leave the red one pulled out, push it in, supplies air. Anyways, we're going on about all kinds of stuff here. Yeah, it's gonna be a stormy couple days here. Right now it's nice out. It's not bad. It's 53 degrees. A lot of overcast. A southern wind, but dry. And I don't know. Since I got all that stuff done to my son's four-wheeler, I'm really, really wanting him to ride it. He wants to ride it too, and I really want him to ride it. But unfortunately, it's gonna be rainy. I guess he could ride it in the rain. I just don't think he would. I would. If I had a four-wheeler and I was at home on spring break, I would be annoying the hell out of anybody keeping me from riding that four-wheeler is what I would be doing. Which would be like my wife is like, no, we're not going to go out ride the four-wheeler. I would be, because my wife, she will give in with enough. She'll give in. And I would be begging her all day. Let me go ride the four-wheeler. Let me go ride the four-wheeler. Let me go ride the four. And then go ride it. Because I showed him, I told him he could start it now, and I'm probably going to have him start it from now on, if we use the drill. I'm like, here's the drill, just put it up on the steps or whatever, and I always have a battery on the charger, so just swap it out before you take off with it, and you go, bzzz, fire that motherfucker up, and you're good to go. Ride it, boy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, I think I'm gonna do it. I guess well, I'm not gonna be home at a decent time tonight. I already know that. Oh, stretch it. But the rest of the week, I think I'll be home at a decent time. And if it's gonna be raining, I'll just go in the garage, do an oil change on the motherfucker. Which you kind of want to do a break-in oil change anyways. So maybe I should, before he rides it again, I should probably just go ahead and do an oil change. Yeah, and keep the hour meter zeroed out so then I know exactly how many hours are on that single oil change. And mm-hmm. Ride that sucker. The other thing about it is I looked at the fuel lines. There's zero fuel filter on that thing, and there's not a shutoff either. So I'm thinking about getting a little fuel shutoff switch and a little fuel filter and putting it on there. Even though it's a brand new bike with a brand new tank, with the gas wasn't brand new. The gas was sitting in my shed for a while since last fall. It's probably the last time I used any of that gas. So, but the gas is working good. But that's the other thing. When I was looking at the little information panel on the side of the engine, when I was looking for the spark plug, because it's all under all this plastic and shit, it said you need to use 93 octane. So now that I know that, I'll just go put 93 and mix it with the whatever gas I got in there, and because it's only a 2.5 gallon jug, I'll just fill that motherfucker up with 93 non-ethanol. I don't know, maybe not. I think the 93 just is non-ethanol anyways. But start running the proper gasoline through the damn thing too, even though it runs great. Runs fucking great. And yeah, the oil I used, it wants 10W40, but I have 10W45 or 1545 and 1540 T6 engine oil for like lawnmowers and dirt bikes and single cylinder engines or whatever, I don't know. So I think that's good oil, but it calls for a different oil. Maybe I'll go pick up a jug or a quart of the correct oil. Full synthetic. Royal purple. Maybe I'll get some royal purple. Racing oil for him. That shit, you don't have to change that ever. Just kidding. If you don't have an oil filter, I mean, even if you have an oil filter, you got to change that oil, son. You got to change that oil. You got to change that filter. There's no oil filter on this thing, and there's not really a way to put an oil filter on it either. Because I think it's just got like a slapper, like an oil slapper. Usually, if there's an oil pump, it's got an oil filter, and the pump pulls oil into the filter, and then it comes out of the filter with pressure, and it goes to the top of the engine or whatever, and then it lubricates the top of the engine or whatever, oil jackets. But small engines or whatever, they have this like little flappy deal that just splashes the oil all over the place. And I guess that works. I don't know. But it would be cool if this little engine, little Chinese 40cc engine lasts a long time, that'd be pretty fucking cool. That would be pretty fucking cool. That's what I'm counting on, at least. The pull start's already failed. But yeah, like I said, they're sending me a new one. I'm going to just keep that on the back burner. I'm going to keep that on the side. I'm going to try this blue Loctite. If this blue Loctite still isn't holding it, then I'm going to go to red Loctite. And if that's not holding it, dude, I got that welder. I might just put a little on there. Little tack weld right there on the fucking nut. And that'll keep it on there forever. There's not really any reason to ever take that thing off anyways. So just tack that bitch on there, and that'll never fucking come off, and then just use my drill forever. Because then there's no point. I mean, I could always that goes to the engine. I can still put a pull start on top of it and then put it back to a pull start, but I don't know. I don't know. And those bolts that backed out, I really should have put Loctite on those too. But really, all that is a shield now. It's not really doing much. But one of those bolts that holds that pull start on is actually an engine bolt also. Because when I had it flipped up the other day, looking at it, and there's two little bolts on the left side of the engine that mount the engine, and then I noticed that the one of those bolts for the pull start is also goes through the frame and holds the engine also. So I probably need to put all those bolts back in and Loctite the fuck out of them. Anyways, I'm gonna come back in a little bit of time. I'm gonna have something else to talk about, I'm sure. So I'll be right back. Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough. No. Do you believe? Sorry, guys. I just got done listening to fucking Cher. Holy shit, dude. Every time I have that on one of my playlists, and not on the rock playlist, but it is on one of them playlists, and every time it shows up, I get so fucking pumped, boys. I don't know, like, do you get pumped when you hear Cher? Because, I mean, she was a big star for good reason. But I was just looking at the lyrics because I thought it was, do you believe in love after love? Meaning, like, hey, I love this person, and now we ain't in love no more. Do you think I could love again? Do you believe I can love after love? Anyways, like, what a great song. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm sorry I had to, well, I didn't leave you guys for very long, but I've been driving around. I've been doing all kinds of stuff. I saw a guy in a tanker truck losing a tire. I mean, a little bit at a time. It was flying off. Really makes me want to keep checking my mirrors constantly, make sure I don't have a fucking tire just shredding on me randomly. But, yep, I called my fucking guys at the landfill, and I let them know, yo, boys, somebody woke up a little late today, and it wasn't you. It was me. I'm not going to be there at the time that you want me to be there, just so you know. And they said it was fine. I believe it's, I think it's fine. I mean, they really ain't got to do nothing. They just got to, move a little fucking piece of machinery around. They act like they do it all. I'm like, fuck you guys. You guys. Like, oh man, you're gonna be here late. I'm like, yeah, I am, man. Mm-hmm. But yep, got to my place and got loaded. I had to wait a while too. That was another problem I had. I had to wait for somebody else to get loaded. But we're rolling down the road, and I do want to give a big ol' whamming shout out to Walk Like a Mailman. I did not realize. So I did the podcast with them. Go back, check it out. Walk Like a Mailman podcast. I guess I can link it in the description. I'll do that. I'll link their episode for their Spotify episode, and then from there you can find all their other links and whatnot. They have such a fucking good show. Just listen to their show. So whenever I did their show, I did they have a segment called Lick It. Send it. Post it. I can't hit the table like I did then. But anyways, they have a lick it, send it, post it section. My hat's all fucked up now because I fucking grabbed my mouthpiece. Anyways, they had me record that, and then I listened to that episode that we did, and I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't good enough. Maybe there wasn't good enough audio. I don't know. And I was using my Blue Snowball microphone because I actually recorded in my quotations, apostrophes, whatever the fuck you call it, studio, and I got really close to the microphone, and I thought maybe it was all fucked up. I don't know. But I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to talk to him. Am I a part of the show from here on forward until the next guest? Maybe it'll be like until the next guest they do. I don't know what's going on, but I'm on their show every day. They don't post every day, but they do every week. Every week they put up a damn episode, and you're going to hear old Kletus Ray. They got some beautiful jazz musicians to come in and record a little soundbite for them and everything. I don't know how they did all that. You know, they're big time over there, and I'm a part of their damn show. Every time you listen to Walk Like a Mailman, you're gonna hear old Kletus Ray coming at you, hot and heavy. Baby, how about you give her a lick, give her a send, give her a post-it. Oh, baby! Maybe I should have done that for that segment. But anyways, I think it's really good. Share, you know, I get a lot of my inspiration for some of the sexual things that I do and some of that big old sugar I love. I get a little bit of it from the Angry Beavers, which is a TV show that was on back in the day, and there was like this big old bear. The big old bear. Yeah. And he was on the Angry Beavers, which back then it was just a show. Nowadays, it's funny. It's a funny name for a show. But anyways, there's a big brown bear in that TV show, and I get a lot of my inspiration from him, and the other inspiration I get is from Cher. Because Cher, she's been a part of my life, you know, for a long time, since I was a baby. My mama would listen to her while I was in her belly. And then my mom got older and showed it to my sister, and then my sister. I wouldn't listen to my sister's belly, but my sister would play it, and you know, I was like, I don't like girls that sing. And then once you hit about, I don't know, it started with me pretty early. I was pretty, you know, stand-off-ish, that's a word, or a phrase or something, about, like, my image. And then I started realizing that my image should be a little bit of Cher. I should have a little bit of Cher. Share a little Cher with everybody. I'm just a big old love guy. You know, I give big hugs is what I do. I'm a big hugger. I may be a little sweaty and a little damp, but I'm giving you'll get a big hug. You know, I've had people tell me you are a really good hugger, and I take that and I run with it. Okay. I've also had other people that are like, you're wet. And, you know, I think they're just wrong. You know, hey, everybody's a little bit wet, okay? This body's 98% water. I don't know. I heard that somewhere. But I just did drink 2 waters. I have to pee, but I don't have time to stop. I need to get to the landfill, bud. I can piss at the landfill. But yeah, I don't know. That's pretty silly of me. I'm so thirsty again still right now. I bought 2 waters and I had them in my door over here. I usually have a whole case of water in this truck, but they swapped out trucks because old Hunter fucked up the other one. There's usually a case of water here and I can drink as many waters as I want. But I bought 2 waters because there wasn't waters in here and I left the shop too fucking quick. And then I chugged them both immediately. I have 2 empty fucking bottles of water. What am I supposed to do, guys? It is starting to sprinkle. I could roll the window down and stick my tongue out. That's an option. But no, and there's another segment. I don't know. I wanted to. I was thinking about doing an entire episode, but I think I can do a little segment because I don't know how much I'm actually going to have to talk about. So we're going to start this segment. This is going to be a story about the time I went to the caves. It was brought up on a Walk Like a Mailman episode. They said that there's actually a big post office thing in the caves in Kansas City that they heard about. So, and then they said, "Does anybody know anything about that?" So then I sent them a message, and this is what I said to them. And I'm gonna hold on. I have to find it. It's not that far away. Hold on. You guys are okay. You guys are all right. Who the hell? Where the hell is it? It's a text. I sent a text to Walk Like a Mailman. They're right here. They're right fucking here. You guys hold on. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you what I wrote them, and then I'm gonna elaborate. I've been in the caves several times, mainly when I was hauling wood to a customer. Semi-trucks could barely fit, and tight turns so dark, cold, and strange. Obviously, no signal for communications. The last time I went, I decided to explore an expansion construction zone. Alone! 800 feet in! I heard a bubbling, gurgling sound, followed by scratching and screaming. A shadowy figure I couldn't get my light on was stalking me on my way out. Luckily, I got away, never to return. That's what happened. That's what happened. So yeah, I'm delivering lumber. I'm driving a curtain side Mack truck, and I have my cell phone with me, and I don't know what's going on. You know, I lose signal. If you go into these caves, you lose signal. And I'll tell you what. I'll tell you about the first time I went to these caves. I went in there, and I'm driving around, and I wasn't expecting to lose signal. I don't know why. They should have a big fucking sign saying, "Figure out where the fuck you're going before you come in, because once you get in here, you're not going to be able to figure it the fuck out. Everything looks the same." So I drive in. This is the first time I went in there. This is a scary time, but in a different way. I go in there with the fucking truck, and I drive, and I go all the way to the end. And I mean, I passed several different little streets or whatever, turns and everything. I just went straight to the fucking end. I turned left, and then I turned right, and then I turned left again, and then I'm in a fucking whole nother area. And I back up, I do a U-turn, and I come back, and I'm like, which way did I come in? I go right, and then I go left, and then I go left again, and then I turn right, and I am lost in the motherfucking caves, guys, with a fucking lumber truck that doesn't, I mean, the caves were made for trucks. They were like, hey, how tall are those trucks? They're like 13.6. All right, okay, we're going to make it 13.6 and a half. That's what the fucking engineers did when they made all the fucking caves. They're like, hey, the trucks are going to be 13.6, so just make it a half inch taller and then they'll fit. It's fucking weird to drive in there. You feel like you're going to hit everything. The ceiling looks like it's right fucking there, you know. But you're not going to hit anything except for whenever you go around a corner or whatever. And it's just like chiseled out rock. I mean, you'd think they'd put some drywall up or something. No, they just chiseled the rock, and they're like, all right, come on in now. Come on in now. Yeah, make yourself at home here. You know, I don't know what they say when they go in there, but they didn't talk to me when I went in there. But I am lost in the motherfucking caves. I'm driving around, and I finally get to the entrance again, and I go and I see a guy going into one like an office near the entrance, and I was like, "Hey, man, do you know where B and B lumber is, or mill, or whatever the fuck? I don't even know. That's not the name. I can't remember." And he's like, "You're lost, aren't you?" I was like, "Hey, fucko, yeah, I am. Don't fucking say it like that, bitch." Like, "Yeah, you ain't the only one that's lost up in here." I don't know where he was from, but he sounded southern and angry. And he just gave me a piece of paper and then walked inside his office and closed the door and locked it. I couldn't follow him in. So he just gave me this little piece of paper, and I look at it, and it's a map, like a treasure map, except there's no treasure. It's just to my lumber company. So I look at it, and I kind of figure it out. And you know what? When I went all the way, when I first came in there and went all the way straight to the back, guess what? The lumber place was right there to the left, but I didn't realize you have to go around the corner. It looked like a parking lot. You had to go around the corner and drive down a little bit, and it's easier to back in there. Well, I guess depending on which side of the truck the lumber was loaded on, but go down in there, and yeah, you're in a cave. You can't like call them and say, "Hey, I'm here." You know, you gotta like walk around till you find somebody. And yeah, it was like cold in there. It was always like perfect weather in the caves all the time. And but there was all these tarps, like the tunnel where I would drive up to their dock, or not dock, but just like roll up doors or whatever to their area. There was all these tarps that were set up blocking the tunnel, and this is my first time in there, so obviously anybody I talk to, I'm gonna start asking them questions. You guys are fucking vampirish down here. You guys are weirdos. You guys work here, and like, I don't know, do you guys even go home? Do you know what time it is? Do you know what fucking time it is? Do you know the date? Holy shit, you guys ordered this. Let's get it off the truck. And they have electric forklifts and everything. And there's no idling. You're not allowed to idle, so you got to turn your trucks off and everything, which is obvious. You don't want to build up of carbon monoxide in the damn caves, okay? So anyways, I'm like, "Man, what is this place?" They're like, "It's the caves." I'm like, "I know, but tell me something else. Give me something I'm gonna remember." And they didn't, because I forgot what they said. But I did. I was like, "What's behind that tarp?" They're like, "Oh yeah, they're expanding the caves that direction." It's like they're always working over there or whatever. And so, anyways, I kind of, developed a little bit of customer relations with these people. So I would show up all the time, and it was mainly because I had a Class B truck. I was a Class A driver, but I always ran the Class B shit, because the Class B shit, you had to really navigate. Yeah, that's when if you're driving the Class B truck, all of your deliveries are going to be difficult, because they don't want to send a truck and trailer to all these deliveries. So like Amish out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and the caves, and houses in neighborhoods, all kinds of stuff like that. Job sites, those were kind of weird too, a little bit. You can get semis in those ones, but it was just easier with the Class. Everything's easier with the Class B, except for doing a U-turn. You would be surprised, like a fucking semi truck with a trailer, do a U-turn. You are gonna do a way tighter U-turn with one of those versus a straight truck, because the frame of the truck is way longer. So you can actually do a U-turn in a semi better than in a straight truck. You got to stop and back up a few times in a straight truck. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the caves and what happened to me. Something that's been sunk down deep inside of me that I forgot it happened. But in light of previous conversations, It's all stirred back up, buds. I'm gonna need to see a shrink or a large, or just I need to cry on somebody's shoulder. Maybe Cher. If I could spend a day with Cher, I think my life would be way better. I think she could just solve my problem. Did she die? Hold on, let me Google that real quick. Did Cher lip sync, get married? No. Die. Let's see. AI overview. No, Cher has not died. Thank the fucking Lord. Now that I looked it up, though, you need to get on Kalshi or whatever and fucking put in a bet. I don't know. Now that I looked it up, you never know when the next rock star or famous guy or whatever is going to go. You never know. And I just Googled, did Cher die? So you guys will watch out for Cher. Don't blame me if it happens, okay? Listen, I'm just a dummy. I wasn't sure if she was still alive or not. So anyways, I've been to these caves a bunch of times. And one of, if not the last time I went to the caves. I'm pretty sure it was the last time I went to the caves. Before I quit that job. Which was probably 5.5 years ago. Maybe more, maybe less, but roughly around then. Because I was delivering lumber 4.5 years ago. I was working for this place called Bulkmatic. I worked there for a fucking week. And it turned out to be shit. So, but right before, when I quit the lumber driving job is when I went to that Bulkmatic. So, I've been here for 4.5 years, so 5.5 years. Let's say 5.5 years ago. Something alarming? Is something beeping? Okay, no. It's wind or something. I could use some water for this story. I pull in there. Back in there. And the tarps have been removed. And I say, hey, have they finished the expansion? He's like, I don't know what they're doing. The tarps were just gone today. I say, really? He's like, yeah, I walked around the corner and looked back there, but I couldn't see much. I said, okay. Interesting. So I had him sign the paperwork and grab the lumber off the truck, and I said, before I strap this truck down, let me just take a quick little look-see. There weren't any signs saying don't enter. How am I supposed to know this isn't just a new road? And I turn and I walk down, and I get probably 100 feet in. And it is completely dark. I can turn around. All I see, it's like what they talk about when you get hit in the head with a rock. I saw light at the end of the tunnel. And that's all I could see. And everybody says go towards the light. I didn't. I turned on my cell phone light, and I went towards that light. And I'm just walking and walking. And I've been walking for a long time. Like something was drawing me into this cave here. There was some sort of a wispy aroma. And I just kept following it. I just kept going. And there were these little nooks that they would cut out and little things here and pipes and all kinds of stuff. And it's wide. It's like a 2-lane road. And I walk it down there and I have my flashlight out and I'm just like, this is so fucking cool. And I tried to hit record on my phone and my phone was kind of bugging out a little bit. And my flashlight started going, and it turned off. It turned off. And I'm in the cave. I'm around the corner, so there is zero light, zero visibility. It is silent. You can hear your heartbeat. You ever seen those places where people go in and it's like the quietest room in the world and nobody could go in there because you can hear your heartbeat and it freaks people out. I was stuck in the cave and all I could hear was and breathe, heavy breathing. I've been walking, so I am heavy breathing. And then I hear something scratch like nails on a chalkboard. I feel some sort of it felt like an apparition or something whizzed by me. Felt like the wind. Felt like my dog when I'm laying on the couch and I fall asleep and my dog comes up and just starts breathing into my face with that hot, stinky breath. That's what it felt like. And I said to myself, there could be a giant dog man right in front of my face, and I have no idea. My cell phone has zero visibility. It stopped working. So what do? Run. Dun, 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 dun. Run, run, run. I hear scratching and screaming, and I can hear it running after me. It's so close. It's right behind me. I can tell it's got a 12-inch foot span or 12-inch foot span, 12-foot arm span. It's gigantic. It's running after me, and it's going to get me, and I run, and I can't. I'm turned around. I'm hitting walls. I'm running into rocks. I get a scratch on my forehead. I break my finger, and I trip, and I slide on the ground, and I say, the power of Christ repels you, or whatever, shut the fuck up, get the fuck away from me. And it stopped. And I laid there, full of adrenaline, ready to battle the fucking shadow demon. I'm armed with arms and a cell phone. What else did I have? I didn't have anything else on me. That was it. Steel toe boots, ready for anything. I'm ready for the fight for my life. But when I said the power of Jesus is compromising you or whatever the fuck, it ran off. I could hear it run off into the distance. And I scramble back up to my feet, and I can just see a little bit, and it's kind of like a hallucination almost. You're like, I think I see light, but I'm not sure. And you know how I used echolocation like a goddamn Bermuda whale. And I could tell which way to get the fuck out of there. And so I would go, and I would listen for the reverberations to tell me, using my echolocation, my sixth sense, I could tell which way was the way out. And I felt like I was on one of those damn scooters that the little girl had in Back to the Future Part 2. And I was just levitating out of this thing. It was like a guardian angel had come in and completely destroyed the demon and took me for a float ride all the way out of this fucking place. But it was under my own sweet will that I made it out. I got out there, and then the people that worked at the lumber place, they were like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I had scratches all over my entire body. And I said, "Yeah, I hit the wall a couple of times." I didn't want to scare them. They were like, "We just heard something going," and we freaked the fuck out. We've got the CSI Miami crew on the way over here right now. And I said, I got to get the fuck out of here. And I get in the truck. I throw all the straps in. I put all my shit away. And I hop in the truck. And I get out of there. And as I'm driving out, I hear a thing banging on my door. So whenever I stop and I get out, I look and there's a hook on the door. And inside it said, I have a 12-foot arm span and 12-inch foot span. That's how I know how big it was. It was like a size, I don't know, but it was some sort of a hook. And I got out of there with my skinny chin. Yeah, and it took me a little while to heal up. I looked like a zebra boy. I looked like a goddamn zebra boy when I got out because I had all these scratches all over me. Some of them were from the walls. Some of them were not. My pants were ripped off. It looked like I had assless chaps on. My boots. That's the weirdest thing about the whole thing is when I got out and I went to take off my boots that night, the steel toes were gone. And the boot was still there, but something was able to extract the steel from my toes. Pretty fucking creepy, isn't that? Did you guys pee your pants like I did? Because I need to go talk to a fucking shrink or a large. I need to go see somebody. I need somebody to help me. Help me figure out what the hell this was. I need to get to CSI Miami crew. I need to call them. Let them know what happened to me. We need to go in there, get the fucking Ghostbusters or something. Pretty fucking creepy. Hey, in the movie The Ghostbusters, were there any because people were like, we're living our normal lives, but there's ghosts out here. I wonder if anybody did any prank calls about ghosts, and then instead of the Ghostbusters vacuuming up a ghost, it was like a couple of fucking fools with rifles that would shoot at them. I feel like there would be a lot of false calls. That was a little off topic, but I have wondered that. If you could live in a movie, what would you live in? It had to be a little bit fake or whatever. If you say Shutter Island, you're a freak, dude. That's a good movie, but that'd be a horrible movie to live in. The reason I bring that up is that what Arnold Schwarzenegger wrote movie, with the Last Action Hero, and there was a little kid living in that movie. That's a good movie too. Mm-hmm. So anyways, I don't know if that was, I'm so glad it's still recording. I would have been so upset if I looked over and it stopped recording. I would never tell that story. I would never tell that story ever again. But anyways, that worked out. So I think that we're going to go ahead and end that. Thank you again to Walk Like a Mailman podcast for bringing up my trauma and using my lick it, send it, post it for their show. That's wonderful. I love hearing that. It was a shock the first time I heard it, and I was like, "Whoa, they did use it!" And then it was a real shock when I heard it today on this podcast they just posted up today, which was a wonderful podcast. I loved it. And anyways, and they said I was they called me an oxymoron. What the hell? What the hell? I know, I'm just fucking with them. Anyways, adios. Keep all 18 down. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.